This right here is one of the big things I wanted to talk about.
We're gluttons for punishment, evidently. A few other Mamdani gems. He said that taxation isn't theft, capitalism is. He wants to freeze all rents. He has refused to condemn the Holocaust. Even the New York Times opinion section came out and basically said he was too liberal and that his agenda is damaging. And, you know, I want people to know, I want you to know.
Now, I wasn't going to do this I was going to let the piece play out, do a whole thing, and the core of what we're talking about today is something that I brought up a couple years ago. I don't like when people play in my face, all right? My dad's probably going to pass away soon, so let me give you a lesson from him in real time so that way you can see what lessons I took from him and maybe we can move forward in this world. Look, I'm not saying I'm the arbiter of everything that is good and holy in this world. I'm not saying that I have the opinions that matter the most and that you should only pay attention to me. I'm not saying that I'm an expert in certain matters, whether they be local, social, economic, interpersonal, intersectional. I'm good with words. I'll admit that, and that's my only talent. I'm good with words. I don't like when niggas lie. And when I say I don't like when niggas lie, I don't like that there are authority figures that feel so pressured not to cave into such obvious truths that they have to justify the worst pieces of our society out of fear of, and I still can't figure out of what, out of fear of who, out of fear of why. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Fuck the greed, fuck the money. You're like, this would be one thing if it was like Lex Luthor in a tower in Gotham in a city on the top of Antarctica and nobody could get to him. And, you know, he'll pop out every 1 or 2 weeks with some new ass scheme and some new ass villain and some new ass enemies and some new ass fodder, you know, and we get our little superheroes together and, you know, we do the dance. My dad would say, if you're going to fuck me, do it with a little etiquette. Don't steal my shit and then help me go look for it. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm getting robbed of my conscience. And I guess it's only because I've put myself in a position to be some type of person on the internet that speaks, so I can watch my words over time, I can watch my opinions, I can see where I've been wrong, how I've adapted, what I've changed to, what I've talked about, this, that, and the other. But what killed me, dog, what killed me beyond a shadow of a doubt is how many limits the average person that may feel like I do will place on their furthering of their lives. Because a part of what you have to do to get anywhere comfortable enough to not worry about your next meal is be some form of this. Capitalism outprices you of everything. Your job could be the most moral. You're just a teacher. You still gotta be this. If you want to drive and not have to worry about, well, if I get in an accident, I'm fucked. You know, if I get in an accident, it's going to be annoying, you know, but I'll make it through. I'll get a nice rental. My credit score is 740, don't worry. The breakaway of the cycles over and over and over again of being a kid in middle school, saying something you think is profound and getting laughed at. That's a rite of passage. You got to learn that. Okay, cool. What was y'all doing in the private schools? Drive-by sweaterings? Take that, fucker. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? How do we get away from this, but violently? Because at some point, my brain says there is nothing I can offer an audience anymore because I'm literally just saying reality. I'm saying the constants of the universe. Gravity will remain true as long as every planet and the free fall of acceleration and the space-time expansion continues in the exact same way, but it's been doing it for hundreds of millions of years. I doubt it's going to change course in the next 10 or 20. But what if the timeline is lining up for that? Can't worry about that shit. Because these be the people you go to school with. These be the popular kids who peak in high school. No, this isn't a peak in high school. I'm gonna do that. Don't worry. We apparently can't let that series go as much as I want to let it go, because every time we get to a new cornerstone of maybe you were just a failed experiment as a teenager and somebody passed you along in a few too many classes because they liked your mother and was probably banging on the side. Like, you can't structure this world to me and then also tell me that this is the way it's supposed to be. It is an inherent contradiction to itself. Anytime I get any flack back, I'm thinking to myself, wow, you really got that much hate in your heart. You really got that much hate in your heart that you're just gonna sit up there and lie to your audience. For what? This platform will die. You will not be a forever star on this shit. That's not how this works. Nobody here is the longest reigning streamer of all time making all the money. Niggas who was here 12 years ago, barely cracking 1,000 views, but got 4.7 million followers. It's the tide. That nobody care about that. Your legacy is literally anytime anybody got close to me, I tried to shoot them dead. While at the same time, these motherfuckers will go out on national television. He won't condemn the Holocaust. If you were somebody else, would you say he won't condemn the Armenian genocide? Do you condemn the bombing of Nagasaki? None of you care about this stuff. Like, you actually regurgitate words and hope that somebody doesn't catch you, grab you, and say, explain what the fuck you're talking about right now. So much privilege, so much safety, so much confidence that you have deluded yourself into believing that you are almost untouchable. You are escalating every person's common sense walkthrough of life. Now, when I raise my kids, I gotta tell her, yo, you see a bitch named Lydia? Smack her. That's for the sins of your father. That's for the sins of your mother. You want to wonder how violence begets violence? Yeah, y'all got your nice gated communities. You got your nice places where you can go and hide after you spit this drivel. But more importantly, you can hide your kids from the reflection that actually is you. So by the time you retire and you done and you pack it up, why are my kids getting bullied? Because it's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business right now. The media cycle goes so fast. No, people drag shit out longer than it has to. And now some people are trying to have a moral compass by dragging out the proper things, but the majority don't give a fuck and they'll drown you out with noise. It's very easy to ignore this noise. It is very hard when a billionaire controls the dials. So now we're stuck in two locations. You are doing something about it, but you physically can't see a reality where you're having an effect. So you deny yourself the ability to have an effect. I'm going to have to go back to this. This is another conspiratorial thought. If you wasn't hitting the right notes, they wouldn't be saying this about you. We're just going to play all the hits. You got about 10 years left before the baby boomer generation is effectively going to probably die out as a whole. God forbid, with all the teen pregnancies around and in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, which I'm aware is on a downward trend now, remember that wheel, even though it might be close, is still turning towards there are people who don't remember their phone numbers. Oh man, I forgot your phone number. I don't usually dial it. I forgot how to use a phone. That's my dad right now. I can't really use the computer anymore as it's not clicking to me. Okay, you're getting older. You're going to be 72 in a few weeks. I'll be 32. I understand. The job you have, I'm going to need that because they need me. Okay, I could pass that down to you, son. That works. Cool. What about everyone else? This is the world that gives you the power to say these things and do these things, right? Well, guess what? The inverse is also true. So if I can be affected by this world, something's got to be affecting you in this world. You just have the ability to hide it. That's what I'm trying to shift. That's been the goal of the show the whole time. That was what the whole 8 seasons was supposed to be about. A general, gradual hero's journey. That's what, and you know what, spoiler for anybody who happens to be watching this on YouTube, that's what the entire 8-season point was supposed to be. The hero's journey. That's why I needed permission to go past step 5. If you know the hero's journey, you need go, search, find. The whole point was finding, and to continue onward would be paying the price. If you didn't understand that before, I hope you understand it now. I found what I was looking for. I found my core audience. If that was to ever explode, as I was searching for a larger and larger audience, if that got me to continue forward, if I could make partner and I found the end goal, I'd have to eventually pay the price. Will I be the same person with 10,000 people in here, 15,000 people in here, 17,000 people in here? But I couldn't make it to step 6 because I never found step 5. That's why the show ended in season 5, if you ever wanted to know. These people don't read books. Everything I just said doesn't matter. Oh, that's really nice, man, but you can't change the world on a dream or a whim. And it's like the negativity just drowns me in the sorrow that, damn, even in this fucked up world where there's a current day Holocaust, you still need to separate at least 1% of yourself to be like, nobody get better than me. I don't want good for anybody. Which leads me to this news correspondent and what made me think about this entire thing that I wanted to say. You really got up here and said he won't condemn the Holocaust. He wants free buses. If you were on a date and that person you were sitting across from, you're both on a date in New York City, and that person across from you starts saying that, you wouldn't find that weird? That wouldn't be like, I mean, I guess, but you know, I don't really follow politics that closely. It's probably the words you're gonna get, right? Why we ain't getting them. Again, you will say donors, money, beholden to, state interests, threats, FBI, this, that. I would never want to change my life to be uncomfortable for people who have shown me so much hate and destruction and unwantedness over these years. True, you did build that yourself though, didn't you? That was your goal, not ours. Imagine how much a little humility would go. For Laura Ingraham to be like, I've been a propagandist for the most of my life, and I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it, and I know that by saying this, I'm probably going to be captured, shot, worse, killed. But I'm going to tell you all right now, most of what I've covered on my show isn't real. I've been lying to you, and I'm done lying. I'm off this. You got money to run away? We don't. So if you won't exit out the situation, I gotta make you exit. Why me? Because it seems like while everyone has a beautiful style and way of going about things, nobody wants that direct confrontation. Nobody wants to go for the kill shots anymore. You want these people to survive. I don't.
Know that people in New York are not, for the most part, this crazy. And in fact, in 2024, Trump saw an increase in votes in 10 to 15 points. But the issue is that Mamdani has been able to get a very radical and vocal group of supporters. He's very popular on social media. AOC endorsed him. Bernie Sanders endorsed him. He's very charismatic. And the concern is that on the Democratic primary, the people who turn out to vote are the radicals. They are the people who are going to encampments at Columbia, who show up to the ICE protests. Those are his supporters. And the concern is that they'll show up to anything to protest, and they will certainly show up to vote. Whereas the centrist candidates, a lot of their people have jobs and a life and won't necessarily show up to support their candidate, because I don't think they realize that he's a very possible winner here.
And you don't hear that bullshit at the end of all of it? Now, with the context that I just gave you, if you listen to what she just said, it really starts to lose all funding, all sense. Now, I know I've garnered an audience that probably understands this a lot easier. I could just say, wow, look at that dumb bitch. We all laugh and we move on. But this propaganda works. This propaganda works to people, places, ideas that you haven't even heard of yet. When we say the trenches, we mean the trenches. That's crazy to also call them unemployed. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The more you throw in there, the easier it becomes for me to be like, excuse me, dumbass bitch. Shouldn't voting be a fucking holiday anyway? People have jobs. It's open from 6 to 10. You don't even know that. Like, you see? But that's, again, stating the obvious. That's, again, stating very readily publicly available information. The fact that you can say that knowing that everybody could tell just right then and there you lying. Only the real bitches in life get away with just straight up lying. Like, think about that. In your life, you probably met a person, if you went to school, I understand everybody had different lives. I'm not here to judge levels of education. As long as you get to the right place, I don't care how you got there. But you've met somebody in your life that was one of them dumb bitches that would sit there and lie to your face. Oh yeah, I saw that bullshit. Trump says we should have less holidays. The workers don't want it either because it's unpaid. It's like, dog, then just make every holiday a paid holiday. Like, what do you mean? And then half the niggas don't even get it off. Then half the niggas not even getting that shit off. But that radical Antifa, I gotta tell you something about that Antifa. I don't know, man. It's 2020 something. And the fact that you could get away with saying the workers yearn for the mines, work will set you free. I'm Brian. Kill me! They really need to save my niggas.